All right, good morning. Welcome to Counterpoints. I'm Ryan Grimm here with Emily Jashinsky. We've got a lot to get into today. Former President Trump might go ahead and get himself arrested either later today or later this week. We've got rail safety legislation that we're going to get into. Google's coming out with its Chat GPT.
Huge news on the China and Russia front as the leaders met this week. There's a lot to break down when it comes to that.
President Biden's first woke veto.
That's right.
And the Federal Reserve meets later today. For a long time, the Fed had been expected to hike rates by another half point. But the kind of tech bros taking down Silicon Valley Bank has trimmed the sails on the aspirations of the Fed a little bit. People are expecting now it'll be a quarter-point increase, which actually amounts to billions of dollars in extra kind of easing flowing into Silicon Valley. So job well done, taking that bank down.
Heck of a job, Brownie.
And there was some speculation that perhaps they wouldn't raise rates at all. But then there was reverse speculation saying, oh, but then that will panic people. Because nobody's saying, wait a minute, if the Fed isn't raising rates at all, how scared is the Fed about the state? What do they know? And then it sparks a run. So it is difficult. You have to, it is very difficult dealing with humans.
What you're saying is that you're glad you're not Powell.
Well, it's probably a lot of fun, though, right? Yeah. Just to have the fate of the world at your fingertips.
Right. No, it sounds exhilarating.
No, sure it is. So we'll wait for that.
Speaking of things being exhilarating, big news on the Republican 2024 presidential campaign front as Ron DeSantis, Ron DeSanctimonious, Meatball Ron, you could go down the list, is talking about President Trump. I wouldn't say he's going on offense. I wouldn't say he's even hitting back that hard. He's been pressed by Piers Morgan in a new interview that's set to air on Thursday on Fox Nation. We have the first clip to show you right here. Take a look.
What is your favourite nickname that Trump's given you so far? Is it Ron DeSanctimonious or Meatball Ron?
Well, I can't.
I think even he went off Meatball Ron.
I can't. I don't know how to spell DeSanctimonious. I don't really know what it means, but I kind of like it's long. It's got a lot of vowels. I mean, so we'd go with that. That's fine. You can call me whatever you want. I mean, just as long as you also call me a winner.
Okay, right. The reason I say he's not pushing back too hard or going on offense is because Piers Morgan really is trying to pull this stuff out of him. It doesn't look like Ron DeSantis is super eager to be talking about Donald Trump, but he is. He is. This is the preview that we have of the DeSantis versus Trump campaign.
Right. This interview came a couple of hours after DeSanctimonious had made his public comments making fun of Trump for having an affair with a porn star. He was kind of worked up when he sat down with Piers. No. But this is my favorite kind of populism, when a Harvard and Yale graduate pretends that he doesn't know what words mean and that there are lots of vowels.
He said he didn't know how to spell DeSanctimonious, which, to be fair, that's not
How do you
easy.
spell DeSanctimonious?
Because Donald Trump spells things in many different ways.
Yes. My favorite was when somebody spelled Little Marco with T's, and Trump corrected him. No, there's D's.
Right.
It's Little Marco.
It's simply incorrect.
Yeah.
So DeSantis also said, when he was asked what the differences are between him and Donald Trump, he says, well, I think there are a few things. The approach to COVID was different. I would have fired somebody like Fauci. I think he got way too big for his britches, and I think he did a lot of damage. And then he went on to say, we don't have, if you bring your own agenda into my administration, you're gone. The way we run the government, I think, is no daily drama, focuses on the big picture, and puts points on the board. And I think that's very important. Let's put the country first rather than worry about any personalities or any type of individual. Again, I don't think Ron DeSantis is super excited to have to make this contrast. I don't think either of them believes it's ideal that the other is in the race. But and Ron DeSantis has been really careful about needling Trump, looking like he's needling Trump. This, to me, the big takeaway from this is that he's very close to an announcement. That would be my perspective.
Yeah, he told Piers Morgan, how does he keep getting these interviews, by the way?
Piers Morgan?
It's amazing.
I don't know, he just asks.
Sure, I'll talk to Piers Morgan. So yeah, he told Piers Morgan in this interview, which will air tomorrow on, what is it, Fox Nation or something like that? Which is their attempt, like the CNN Plus of Fox.
Except successful. So it's on Thursday.
People are parting with their money, apparently, for Fox Nation. Said, stay tuned. So basically, he's going to, unless he backs out at the last minute. But in some ways, he's just no match for Trump when it comes to these insults. You watch at the end of that clip, he says, I don't care what you call me, just call me a winner. So cringe.
Yeah, and
Like,
but this is why nobody is a match for Trump. And I do think DeSantis is smart enough to have recognized that for months and months and months, which is why I think the big takeaway from this interview is really that. I mean, we kind of knew what this was going to look like with the contrast that DeSantis's vantage point at what the contrast is. We knew that what that was going to look like, the broad outlines of it. But I think the big takeaway here is that he's very close to making an official presidential announcement because he spent so much time avoiding exactly this. And again, I think he's not eager to do it in the same way that Trump is eager to go after him. And Crystal and Sagar talked about some of the very interesting ways that's unfolding yesterday. But I think he knows that nobody can really take on Donald Trump. Right. We saw all of these candidates fall one after one after one after thinking finally they'd figured out the way to go mano a mano with Donald Trump, and it never panned out. So I think that's where you're seeing caution on DeSantis' part. But the fact that he finally took on some of these questions instead of deflecting them, which is when it's not as though he hasn't gotten these questions in the past. He's just deflected them. So the fact that he's taken them, I think, means he's about to make his announcement.
Right. And to show how poorly matched he is in this kind of a fight, Trump responded to him. I don't know if we have this, but he, on his little Truth Social, he writes back, and this is just a perfect way that just Trump ups it to nuclear level. He says, Ron DeSantis will probably find out about false accusations. Wait, how would we say this? About false accusations? I can't do a Trump. False accusations? How's your Trump?
It's a little better.
Sometime in the future. As he gets older, wiser, and better known, when he's unfairly and illegally attacked by a woman, even classmates that are underage, or possibly a man.
Possibly a man!
Parentheses, exclamation point. I'm sure he will want to fight these misfits just like I do. So it's like, okay, you don't like the name DeSanctimonious? How about I accuse you of partying with underage men?
Yeah, of being gay.
Yeah.
This is so classic Donald Trump.
Where do you go from there? Like, when he's ratcheted it up there.
Right.
Yeah, he said, well, call me whatever you want.
Anything.
Make sure you call me a winner. Yeah.
Make sure you call me straight is where it's going next.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Sagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.